welcome to Channel 8 Sports, where tonight we're at Matthew J. Brawl Field in Edison for the East Brunswick High School Edison Eagles game. Joining me once again is Jimmy Allinder and Phil Hill. And gentlemen, as we yell over the band here, East Brunswick comes off a rather stunning loss against Madison Central, 22-0 last week. I got to think this is a big game for the Bears. Jim?
I agree with you, John. East Brunswick is really at a crossroads of their season. This is only the fourth game of the year, but tonight is really going to determine what direction they're going to go for the rest of this season. You know, they're 1-2-1, they're 1-1-1 right now. A loss tonight will put them really behind the 8 ball, and it's going to make it very difficult for them to gain a playoff position. So this is a very crucial game for them.
I agree. Phil, you've been scouting Edison this week. They come in 0-2, but 2 tough losses.
2 tough losses, one to John F. Kennedy, another to Middletown North by a total of 8 points. Coach Gary Reiter simply says, and he doesn't hedge, that his team should be 2-0. They've been unfortunate. They've had some major injuries, and that has slowed down the team. But this Edison team is a hungry team. They want to regain some dignity, so to speak. So East Brunswick is really catching them at a pretty tough time. Edison will be out to play good ball tonight.
All right, that's the free game from here. East Brunswick against Edison as we turn to the action on the field. Good evening and welcome to East Brunswick High School football. My name is John Meggiolaro, and I'll be bringing you the play-by-play for tonight's action against the East Brunswick Bears and the Edison Eagles. Joining me once again is Jim Allinder and Phil Hill. The teams have just come onto the field and we've had the national anthem at a rather chilly Edison High School field. We started to touch on the fact that this may be a big game for East Brunswick this season, having lost to Madison Central last week and looking down the road with J.P. Stevens yet to come. Jimmy, you may want to pick up on that a little bit.
Yeah, John, I was talking with Coach Borden yesterday, and he does seem somewhat recovered from the shock that it must have been last week to lose to Madison Central 22-0. And quite honestly, I think we were all shocked at that game, but I really thought East Brunswick would overpower Madison Central, but that really wasn't the case. And I think Phil hit the nail on the head last week when he indicated that East Brunswick has to avoid getting burned on those big plays. The 3 big ones, they spelled the whole downer last week. Just 3. You know, we know the defense was pretty solid, and generally they're not going to suffer breakdowns, but the kicking game, especially last week, that's really what suffered a lapse. With the block punt by Brian, and then that other poor kick. So East Brunswick is simply going to have to avoid making a lot of mistakes tonight.
Okay, Phil, this is a big game for Edison as well. They need this in the greater Middlesex County Conference, and particularly in the division.
Well, they need this game to recover. As I said before, this team is touted as probably the best team in the county in the early season, but due to the injuries, and they've had some very close games, but Coach Reiter says basically what he's going to do, he's going to be throwing the ball tonight. He knows that East Brunswick has been beaten in the past by big plays, and that's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to create the big play in order to beat East Brunswick.
Okay, Edison has won the toss and will receive. They're in the dark jerseys or red jerseys. They'll be moving from right to left on your screen. The Bears are in their visiting white jerseys, and they'll be moving from your left side of the screen. So here we go at Edison High School. Big matchup, Greater Middlesex County Conference.
John, we're going to pick it up as we move along, but my understanding is that Edwin Jimenez is injured with a broken wrist and is not going to be available for tonight's game, and his place is going to be taken by Joe Giroux. And I think that's going to lead to a couple of different things on offense for East Brunswick.
Phil, I think one thing we're going to see tonight that East Brunswick has not faced, at least up to this point this year, and that's a passing game.
Well, they're going to get the share of passing tonight. This kid, Mike Bosslet, is a pretty good quarterback. He has over 350 yards this year alone. And so he's going to be putting the ball up in the air quite a bit.
All right, Josh Miller getting ready to tee it up.
John, we might note that I don't think the wind's going to be a factor tonight. The flag is standing still. field is in relatively good condition.
All right, we're about ready to go here. Start of the Edison East Brunswick game. Josh Miller with the kickoff. Fine kick. The Edison man's going to let it bounce. Down on the 1 yard line. He'll cross the 10, and that's where Edison will start.
Special thanks to my wife tonight, John. I was going out the door with just a blazer on, and she called me back and said, you better wear your winter coat. And I'm glad she told me that. It is really chilly tonight.
All right, the Eagles will have it 1st and 10 on their own 11. Boslett's at quarterback. He's number 12. In the backfield is Gordon and Fotheringham. The Eagles shift into a wide formation now. This is Boslett. He's going to throw. First play. He's got Gordon. And that's a first down, Edison.
John, I believe that's Fotheringham.
You're right, Phil.
I tell you, Coach Ryder says he's going to throw the ball a lot. He comes out the first play of the game, and he's passing the ball already. For people that like to see the game the way it's turned into the pro leagues, you're going to see that tonight. A lot of balls in the air.
All right, it's at the Edison 26, 1st and 10. Eagles in possession, just started the game. High formation. This is Gordon. Gordon will be up close to the 30. All right, pickup of about 2. Let's call it 2nd and 8. Ball at the 28-yard line. A lot of motion by Edison. That's Gordon. Gordon will be up to the 35-yard line.
Phil, doesn't it seem all very familiar? East Brunswick opens up giving up large chunks of yardage, waiting to try to figure out the Edison offense or the opponent's offense.
Well, it's early yet. Coach Ryder says he wants to keep East Brunswick off balance, and all that motion is trying to do that, so maybe they just need some time to settle down.
All right, 3rd and 2 rather for the Eagles. Boslett, quick handoff. And that's Gordon. He's got the first down.
Mitch Gordon, John, is their money back. He's the guy that they count on heavily for the running game. He's right now he's suffering with a shoulder injury, so it remains to be seen how long he's going to be in there. But that's the man they rely on when they go to the ground attack.
He doesn't seem to be suffering too much.
Well, Edison picks up their 3rd first down of the drive. 9:57 to go, first period action. That's Boslett with Fotheringham and Gordon in the backfield, I formation. There's a fake. Boslett still has it. He's looking down the side. Pass deep. Incomplete for number 30, Joe Alves, the split end.
Alvarez is looking for an interference call on that, but I think Rick Oaken, 40, played that very well. Perhaps we'll keep the tabs on how many times Edison throws tonight. Marcus Borden said, bring it on, because he feels that his defensive secondary, and I believe he's quite correct, is one of the better ones in the county.
Well, Jimmy, I got a little something to say about that, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, why they may not be as good as they were last year.
All right, 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Ball on their own 44. Boslett looking to throw again, and he's taken down. Number 65 for East Brunswick, Scott Brenowitz.
A great tackle by Brenowitz in there. Boslett was about to load up and fire downfield. Jimmy, I was saying that while these are the same kids in the defensive backfield for East Brunswick, you don't have the same linebackers. You don't lose a Bob Rusnak, a Bostowski, a Wierenberg, and not lose something. So Plus and the other defensive backs are finding it tougher this year. They have to be a little bit more involved in the play because of the lack of those linebackers.
All right, Edison goes into shotgun formation. They have 3rd and 15. The ball on their own 38. Boslett throws it up. His receiver doesn't look, and Oken, almost picks it off. The ball intended for Mitch Gordon coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, East Brunswick saw the pass situation with the shotgun and elected to send Kenny Pruss in on the blitz. That forced Boslett to release the ball a little bit sooner than he wanted to.
All right, Edison will go into punt formation. That's Pruss and Brunig back deep for the Bears. Fine punt. Pruss is going to field it at his own 20. Reverses to Brunig. Brunig breaks through and brings it up close to the 35-yard line.
And we have a late hit on there, John. A late hit by an Edison player, and they're going to be penalized for it.
So East Brunswick's going to start this drive from midfield.
Personal foul. Late hit, as Phil called it.
You know, it's early in the season, but already we've seen Billy Brunig's ability to avoid tackles and just keep on getting more yardage as he's hit. That was a fine individual effort.
That puts the ball at midfield.
You know, we mentioned Scott Brenowitz before, who was able to sack Boslett. Scott used to go two ways for East Brunswick, but Borden has elected to have him play just defense. His place is being taken by Sean White.
All right, Forte brings out the offense. That's Harmon with the ball. And Harmon will be dropped for a loss.
Well, we all know that Mark Harmon had excellent success last week, at least at the very beginning of the game with Madison Central going wide. Edison, I assume, was looking for that play.
Well, number 77, Bill Krupa, you're going to see a lot of him all day. Bill Krupa happens to be the best lineman for Edison, and wherever the ball is, you're going to see number 77 around it.
All right, Harmon lost a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 for the Bears on the East Brunswick 49. Forte looking over the defense. He hands off to Miller, Matt Miller. Miller will pick up about 4.
I'll tell you what, I can't remember Matt Miller losing yardage on any time he's got the ball.
That's true.
He seems to be a very reliable back.
Number 77, Bill Krupa again, in on that tackle.
Let's call a 3rd and 5 for the Bears. This is their first offensive possession. 7:15 to go first quarter. We have no score. Ball on the Edison 46. And there's motion by East Brunswick. So East Brunswick picks up their first penalty of the evening.
Well, it's a type of penalty you hate to see, but it is a 3rd down in a passing situation, so it may not do quite as much damage as you might think.
All right, the officials will mark it off. Ball will go back into East Brunswick territory, back to the 49.
Well, it takes Josh Miller out of field goal range now.
Don't start.
3rd and 11 for the Bears. Ball now on their own 49. Forte rolls left, looking to pass. He's got some room, sets up. He's got Ken Pruss, first down. Tough pass play, Phil. Running to the left.
Running to the left and throwing back to that side is a very tough pass. I said that 5 more yards probably wouldn't make a difference, and that's the reason why. If you got a basic pass pattern, you usually can pick up that additional yardage, and they did, and they got a first down.
All right, the ball is marked at the Edison 35. So East Brunswick moves into Edison territory. 6:25 to go first period, no score. Forte, a little mixed up in the backfield. He still has the ball. He's going to throw it.
Good heads-up play by Brian.
And a flag is thrown, a late flag.
Let's see what this flag's about. I was going to say it was a good play because Brian knew that he was going to not gain any yardage on the run, so he just tried to throw it away. Hopefully the referee will not call it an ineligible receiver downfield.
We'll see what the call is. I think you're right, Jim. It is an ineligible receiver downfield.
That's a 5-yard penalty and a loss of down.
Something we need to clarify. Last week, I called that it was not in high school. Looking at the tapes, in fact, it should have been, but was never called by the official. So, quite honestly, East Brunswick caught a break last year on that call, or last week rather on that call. Anyway, it is picked up here, and it's a second down. The ball back on the Edison 40. 2nd and 15 now for the Bears. Reverse, Prust, back to Harmon.
He's got room.
He's got plenty of room. Mark Harmon's going to go all the way.
No flags, John.
I'll tell you, John, that's the first time we've seen that this year. That's a double reverse, and Mark Harmon, a triple reverse, I believe it was, and Mark Harmon had nothing but daylight and took it in. Something new by Marcus Borden.
Harmon goes 40 yards, and East Brunswick's on the board.
Well, East Brunswick finds itself out ahead for a change.
All right, Josh Miller on for the extra point. Fine downfield blocking by the Bears.
Well, he found a seam on that right side, just outran the defense.
Snaps high, Prust gets it down, the kick is up and good. And East Brunswick takes the lead 7-0 with 6:02 to go here in the first period. Well, something new.
Scoring first is something new this year.
That's right. And I have to think that gives the East Brunswick team a boost that it really needed. I think they were a little down in the dumps, maybe a little bit unsure of themselves, even though Marcus Borden had said that they were putting that game behind them. Nothing like a quick 7 points to get that confidence back.
Well, it's something that they hadn't done before, and I have to believe getting out in front shows that they're acting in instead of reacting, and I got a good feeling that's going to carry over. I'll tell you what, I'm also glad to see Josh Miller get that extra point. My feeling is that he needed to get something. Everybody was playing it down in regards to concern for him, but I was glad to see him get that point there. I think it's going to do wonders for his confidence.
Let's watch him boot this ball, see how far it goes.
All right, Josh Miller has it teed up. So East Brunswick's on the board first here. Fine kick. Fielded at about the 6-yard line by Edison. Gonna bring up to around the 25. So Edison goes on offense once again.
Marcus Borden is true to form already. He likes the surprises. I've said that from day one, and he comes with a big play that is a total surprise to everyone, and they're ahead 7-0.
All right, Edison on their own 25 will have it 1st and 10. Boslitz the quarterback. This is Firthingham with the ball. Big hole. Nice move, Firthingham. We'll see if he's got any speed. Brunig's the last defender, and he trips him up. Bill Brunig, the last one for East Brunswick, trips up Firthingham, but not until he gets down to around the 15-yard line of East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, I thought those moves were only reserved for Anthony Davis, who played here last year, but Firthingham did a move about the 55-yard line that fooled one of the East Brunswick tacklers altogether and showed great speed, but a game-saving tackle by Bill Brunig.
The Ball is on to East Brunswick, 13. First and 10 for the Eagles. Let's see if Edison can answer back. Edison shifts around, back to an I formation. This is Gordon. Gordon will be close to the 10.
We'll see just how important that tackle by Brunig is.
Edison is doing a lot of things in there. They'll come with all kinds of sets. They'll use a multiple set, close set. They'll show some shotgun. They'll do anything to try to create some imbalance on East Brunswick's side.
2nd and 7 for the Eagles. Ball spotted at the at the East Brunswick 11. Boslett faking, looking to throw over the middle. Flag thrown. The ball was incomplete, intended for Alves.
There goes the second flag. That first flag appears to be a holding penalty. That's generally what the situation is when it's thrown back there. I have no idea what the second flag is, John.
It might be an unsportsmanlike conduct for the reaction to the first flag. We'll wait and see.
In a case like that, Phil, do they just tack it on?
Personal foul and a holding call.
They will tack it on
against Edison. Personal foul against East Brunswick. Nullifies the play.
Oh dear, that's a very untimely penalty for East. What could have caused them to incur an unsportsmanlike?
I'll be honest with you, Jimmy, I'm not sure, but like you said, it certainly is untimely.
Gentlemen, the official made a gesture as to a forearm to the head, and it may have been against Boslett, or Boslett was the one to receive that shot after he let go of the pass. Anyway, a lot to do about nothing. The penalties were offsetting, so it's 2nd and 11, 2nd and 7 rather, on the East Brunswick 11. Boslett, this is Gordon. Gordon's got room. Gordon's going to score.
Good crisp blocking on the right side for Edison. Opened up the hole for Gordon. He did the rest.
Gordon goes 11 yards. It's now 7-6.
I think probably Coach Gary Ryder might even alter his game plan. He planned to throw a whole lot, but now he seems like he's able to run at will, so he may even alter his game plan.
All right, they're going to go for 2, Edison. Boslett to Gordon again. Oh, he still has the ball. Throws it, let's get the call.
Right, Gordon was hit out of bounds on that, but yet the referee determined that he would have caught it inbounds, so the 2 points are awarded to Edison, and they go up 8-7, John.
On Alves. Alves made the reception.
Okay. So Edison answers back in quick fashion, and now the momentum is in their favor.
I have to say, some fine ball handling by Boslett. I was fooled.
I think he fooled us all, John. I'll tell you, we're in for an exciting game. I said at the top of the show that these are 2 hungry teams, and offensively, they're coming out and taking it to each other. The first one that asserts himself defensively will probably be the one to win the game.
All right, if you're just joining us, we have 4:11 to go in the first period of this game between East Brunswick and Edison. Edison is in the lead, 8-7, and we're seeing a lot of action thus far. East Brunswick awaiting the kickoff, and back deep is Press Brunig. And I can't make out the last player. I think it's Harmon. Yes, it is. All right, here we go. Short kick. Harmon's going to take it at about the 21. Got some room on the left side. Mark Harmon's still going. Crosses the 40. East Brunswick will have fine field position once again.
Mark Harmon has that little spin move that you rarely find in high school kids. It's sort of a dangerous move, but if you can get away with it, you can certainly pick up some extra yardage.
All right, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bears on their own 43. Forte drops back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Looking down the middle. He's got Harmon wide open. First down. Beautiful play.
Sure was. I saw Gene Cameron down on the field there. I was going to say that Ryan Forte was 15 for 25 last week, even in a losing cause. So he really had a good confidence builder last night as far as throwing was concerned, and that really had a lot of zip on it.
I think that's the first time we've seen Harmon in that position also. So Borden has come out with quite a few new stuff this week.
All right, we're down to 3:30 to go. First period action. East Brunswick trails 8-7. They have the ball. Here's a pitch. Brunig. Brunig, big hole. Bill Brunig.
Well,
He's got the corner. He's in.
Dear Lord.
66 yards. Bill Brunig.
I think Matt Miller probably threw the block on that play there. A great one by Bill Brunig.
I got carried away here. I said 66 yards. Actually, it was 34 yards, but I'm so cold at this point. Anyway, the extra point by Miller. It's up and good. So East Brunswick regains the lead. 13-8 with 3:18 to go, first period. 14. Boy, help me out, gentlemen.
My wife does some tutoring, John, in math, if you're interested. No, I'm sorry.
Well, looks like we're going to have a shootout at the OK Corral here. There's good running up and down this field.
Gentlemen, I'm enjoying it because, it was so predictable the first couple of games. To see the teams, East Brunswick particularly, break out like this is really refreshing.
I just may be quiet the rest of the game. Oh, boy.
John, you must be very happy to see the yard markers down on the field.
You would never know, by the way, I'm calling the game, but yes, it's very nice to see the markers on the field rather than looking at the little triangles that they stick up there on the sidelines. All right, Josh Miller, his leg is warmed up tonight. And here's the kick. Fine kick once again. Edison will field it at the 5.
I'll tell you what I've been noticing on those kicks. Not only is he getting distance on them, he's getting a lot of height, and that, of course, is that hang time gives East Brunswick the time to get down there and cover that ball.
I tell you, Matt Bogdan for Edison almost broke that one. All he needed was one step, and he would have been on his way. We got racehorsing going up and down the field.
Now it's time to see the defense take over.
First and 10 for the Eagles on their own 28. We're down to 2:50 to go here, first quarter action. East Brunswick in the lead, 14-8. This is Firthingham.
Phil, very difficult situation for the East Brunswick defense because Edison has already shown good ability to run the ball. They already are known as a good passing team, so they really can't concentrate on any particular aspect of the game.
That's the same problem Coach Ryder has with East Brunswick. He says they're the most balanced team that he's faced all year. They have an equal amount of running as they do passing, so that can cause you problems. They have mutual problems here today.
2nd and 7 for the Eagles. They're on their own 32. Boslett, hand off to Firthingham.
That probably was the same play that he bust loose there before.
It looked like it.
Seemed almost like a counter.
It is. A jab, step to one to the right, and then hook back into the line.
Bring up a 3rd down for the Eagles. Call a 3rd and 3. I'll have to say Al Michaels won't have anything to worry about after this game. We're down to 1:30, first period. Edison facing a 3rd and 3. This is Gordon. Gordon breaks through. He's going to get the first down.
Bears had an opportunity to stop Gordon in the backfield, but he slipped away from the tackle, advanced the yardage up to the 41-yard line.
I'll tell you, this Mitch Gordon is a good-looking back for Edison. He takes a stutter step. He's shown some good moves, even though they've been short runs.
John will try to follow some of the action of the fall teams, as the other fall sports teams, as we have some time here.
All right, we're under a minute in first period action. Edison first down on their own 41. Little motion there. Boslett still has it. Quick throw to Furthingham, and the ball is dropped.
Well, if we hit him a bad place, he hit him right in the hands. Young man wasn't looking it in.
East Brunswick tackler was on that ball, so the chances are, even if he had caught it, it wouldn't have gone for any big yardage.
Good point, Jeff.
And Edison has been having excellent success on first down. It's kind of good to see that they didn't get any yardage on that first down play. Probably forces them into a passing situation.
Well, they better jam number 88, Scott Hubrick, on the line, because he will catch one on you.
All right, 2nd down and 10 for the Eagles. Their own 41-yard line. Boslett fakes to Furthingham. He's laying it up high. Number 88, Hubrick, and the flag is thrown. Let's see the call.
Well, it's very obviously an interference call on Dave Novak, and I'll tell you what, I have to question that. I thought he was with him all the way, stuck his arm out at the last moment, and knocked the ball away.
It appeared that way, Jimmy, but we were sort of shielded away also, and the officials seemed to be in good position, so he must have saw something.
That's an honest pass receiver talking there.
All right. It is pass interference against East Brunswick.
Coach Borden's a little unhappy on the other side of the field there, I noticed. But if we had a bad view, he has a worse view.
All right, the penalty brings the ball to the East Brunswick 44-yard line, where the Eagles will have it 1st and 10.
Both teams accumulating a lot of offensive statistics this first quarter.
Down to 43 seconds, first period. Boslett's going to be dropped for a loss. Clock is running.
Good defense by East Brunswick, good coverage by the defensive backfield, and good pursuit by the line.
That was Rob Schaefer on that sack, by the way.
I don't know if Edison will get a play off before the end of the quarter. We're down to 6 seconds. Boslett's in shotgun formation.
He will let the clock run out.
And that's it, the end of the first period here, with the East Brunswick Bears leading 14-8.
Let's see if Boslett remains in the shotgun, because I believe that Borden has determined that each time he goes into the shotgun, he's going to blitz either a defensive back or a linebacker. You remember Pruss on the last play, Phil, shot in the gap there when they was able to force Boslett to throw real quick.
Well, they go into that 46 real quick, and that's just having all the backs, all but one, and your linebackers nearly up on the line, and any one of them can shoot out. And when they do that, they're liable to get a sack. Of course, you can get burned on it also.
I see Marcus Borden talking to the officials on that pass interference call. I guess he just wanted to give his perspective of it.
Also let them think about the next time they want to throw a flag.
Sure. All right, we're ready to start the second period here in Edison. The Bears leading 14-8. Edison will have a 2nd and 16 on their own 49-yard line. A lot of action that first period, more than we've seen this year.
That's correct. You know, Edison really hasn't shown the ability to stop East Brunswick's offense, too.
That's true. I'll tell you, a contributing factor in the minutes.
And you notice that Boslett is not on the shotgun.
All right, Boslett brings him out, I formation. He's looking to throw. He rolls right. He's got his man open, but the ball is dropped. Nice attempt by Alves. Oaken on the coverage.
Showed a good arm there. Boslett, just a junior.
Well, he throws the ball off balance, sidearm, and everything else, and he still seems to get the ball there. He's a very good athlete.
Phil, does a sidearm present any problems to a pass receiver?
It's just a bad habit to get into. There's a proper way of throwing the ball, and you get to throwing sidearm. The pros do it every now and then in a particular situation, but to make it a regular part of your throwing form just isn't good.
All right, we have an official's timeout on the field. One of the Edison players having a little equipment problem.
That's Fotheringham.
Well, I'll use this opportunity to talk about the East Brunswick girls soccer team. Today, or was it yesterday, they beat Sayreville 9-0 to move their record to 11-0. And for the 5th time this year, East Brunswick did not allow a shot on goal. What a dominant team. Of course, they beat Cedar Ridge earlier this week, in a game which was televised by Channel 8, 1-0.
All right, the Eagles come out, 3rd and 16. Ball on their own 49. They trail 14-8. Boslett fakes the draw play. Alves, he's juggling the ball. It's no good, out of bounds.
It's a good call by the official. Young man did not have possession of the ball before he went out of bounds.
Right, very fortunate for Rick Oaken there. He judged to have an opportunity to tip the ball rather than play the receiver. So Edison forced to kick for the 2nd time.
I'll say this, I'm very impressed thus far with this Boslett from Edison. He shows excellent technique, good control of the team, and leadership ability, and he's a big boy.
John and Phil, I don't think 2-touchdown lead is going to be safe tonight.
All right, Edison to punt. Russ and Brunig are back deep. Heavy rush on the punter. Fair catch by Brunig at the 25.
Very intelligent play by Bill Brunig that time. A host of Edison tacklers coming down on him.
I'll tell you, Okan came pretty close to blocking that. He threw his body in the air and just missed getting the ball. A fine attempt by the young man.
I'd like to say that Rick Oaken is starting to emerge as a really quality player for East Brunswick.
East Brunswick's going to have to take advantage of Edison's corners. They're down to their 2nd and 3rd string people at the corners. One's a sophomore, Tom Wall, and Matt Bogdan Jr., and they haven't had that much experience, so they're there due to injury. So East Brunswick's going to have to take advantage of those corners.
Forte brings them out. That's Miller. Miller pick up about 4 yards.
He had a little bit of a hole right there, just was tripped up at the last moment. Could have gone for a lot more.
Let's call it 2nd and 6 for the Bears. Miller and Brunig are in the backfield with Forte. Forte drops back, looks quick to throw. He's got Pruss. Pruss slips down.
Well, he only got a couple of yards on that play. Phil, I'm a little bit surprised. Is there a flag? No, I'm sorry. I thought there was a flag. I'm a little bit surprised that Edison isn't giving Kenny Pruss double coverage on that, because with Jimenez out, East Brunswick really only has one really dependable wide receiver, and I thought they would try to make it more difficult for them. Apparently that's not the case.
I just don't think they can do it because they're hurting as far as the defensive backs are already, and to put double coverage on Kenny Pruss would make them that much more vulnerable. Nobody's on him right now.
3rd and 3. This is Miller. Miller's going to get the 1st down.
Dependable Matt Miller.
You got to believe that Coach Borden picked it up, that the formation they just were in, they had 2 receivers out to the left here and only 1 defensive back out here, and if Edison doesn't make any adjustments, they can burn them really quick, just with a quick look in.
With Brian and Forte's passing ability, they can just flood the zone out there with 2 men.
East Brunswick, 1st and 10, their own 36. Forte looking to throw. He's got some time. He's got Pruss on the sideline, wide open. Ken Pruss cutting across. It's a foot race. Pruss, one man left. Taken down at the 10-yard line.
What can you say?
Well, and Jimmy, that's just what I was talking about. Marcus Gordon did pick it up. They had the same thing showing on the other side, and they came back to the opposite side and hit Kenny Pruss wide open. And why shouldn't it be open? There was no way Edison could cover it.
That's correct. Joey Giroux was sent down the sideline. He attracted 2 men, and that opened Ken Pruss up for the quicken. And Kenny just used his ability to go right down the field.
All right, we have 9:53 to go. Second period action. East Brunswick in the lead, 14-8, and they're threatening. The ball is on the Edison 10-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears.
I just can't believe how they're trying to defend against the receivers right now.
Edison finally adjusts.
Forte, this is Harmon. Harmon will be close to the 5-yard line.
And I'll have to tell you, this is the best East Brunswick has looked offensively all year. They really have Edison confused now.
2nd and goal for the Bears. Ball is at the Edison 5. 9 minutes to go, second period action. Forte on a quarterback keeper. Down to maybe the 2-yard line.
Very nice call right there. Gives them 2 shots at getting in the end zone from the 2-yard line. I have to think that Matt Miller might get the ball this time.
We have a timeout. East Brunswick.
What do you think of that timeout, Phil?
Well, it's a trademark of Marcus Gordon's when he gets down close to the goal line in what he considers to be a very important situation. He calls timeout. I've spoke about it before that I like momentum. I don't like stopping momentum when a team's moving, but this is part of his coaching style, and he hasn't done too badly with it. So,
unofficially, I have Brian Forte 3 for 3 in the passing department for 80 yards. So East Brunswick is using the pass very wisely.
well, they can pick up a lot more yards if they continue to stay on the corners.
We got some firecrackers going off. We should mention that we're on the Edison side of the field.
So we hope it's firecrackers.
Very nice crowd this evening, and of course East Brunswick always brings a good crowd with them anywhere they go.
I want to pick up on something that both Jimmy, you and Phil mentioned last week, in that the Madison Central game was a tough loss, but it was a learning experience, and I think we're starting to see some of that here tonight. Okay, East Brunswick, the ball on the Edison 3. 3rd down and goal. Forte rolls right, looking to throw the ball. Throws it in the crowd, incomplete. I think he was looking for Mark Harmon. Bring up 4th down. Now, what do? Bring on Josh Miller, or you go for it?
Boy, I'll tell you, this is a tough call. I don't think you can fault Marcus either way. East Brunswick has shown excellent ability to move the ball.
He's going to apparently go for it. I don't see Josh Miller on the field.
Well, if they surprised and went to the pass that last play, you got to believe that they got to come back with the pass, unless.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that reverse trickery.
I think it may be Miller. And if he doesn't get it, he's on the 1. That's Brunig. Brunig is in. Touchdown.
Well,
Bill Brunig, his 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Boy, what a high-risk play there.
Well, no, it's just that you got to wonder why on the 3rd down that type of play didn't go. And but the element of surprise.
Yes, no, we tend to be overly critical. You know, if Billy had just fallen an inch short, we would have been saying, "Oh, what a lousy play!"
It's
but
great.
now, now it's a touchdown, obviously.
Well, that's the difference. It's great to be up here and you can make all kinds of judgments.
That's correct.
I'm glad you guys are doing it. Anyway, Josh Miller on for the extra point. Kick is blocked. And so East Brunswick misses the extra point. Kick is blocked. They are in the lead, however, 20-8.
That block you don't give to Josh Miller neither. That block you give to the line. Edison just blew right in there to block it. It had nothing to do with trajectory.
That's correct. I saw it on the previous point after. Edison was showing penetration, and this time they were able to catch the kick. I was going to make the comment with the score 20-8. Gentlemen, I still don't get a sense that it's a comfortable lead. Edison really can score at will, or not score at will, but they really can score quickly with Boslett's arm. And I definitely think that East Brunswick's going to have to put more points on the board.
Well, I think there's going to be more points by both teams on the board, the way they're moving up and down the field.
All right, we have 8:30 to go here in the second period. East Brunswick has extended their lead 20-8. They'll be kicking off. Could be a little short, fielded at about the 11. Right up the middle is Alves. Maybe close to the 30.
Again, good coverage by the East Brunswick team. Boys soccer team really had a good week. They're 10-0 right now, having knocked off Madison Central 5-2 Thursday. And earlier this week, under the lights at J. Doyle Field, they knocked off J.P. Stevens 3-2. Schedule has them at Edison here tomorrow. That's a Saturday, and then they're going to host Saraville next Tuesday. And I'd like to talk about the October 15th night game in a second.
Edison 1st and 10 on their own 29. Boslett hands off to Gordon. Gordon's got some running room. Have the first down.
Tell you, he's a nice little running back. Keeps those legs turning and just picks up nice yards for a first down.
Kenny Press just sort of threw his body at Gordon. Gordon just slugged him off, kept on going. That night game, soccer team will be playing an October 15th game against Toms River East under the lights at J. Doyle Field, and I think that'll be an excellent opportunity for some of the fans to get out and see the game.
We have a timeout.
Official timeout.
Another equipment problem, this time with one of the East Brunswick players. And that's Joe DeVito. He's ready to go now. 7:42 here, second period action. East Brunswick in the lead, 20-8. Edison has the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 43. That's Boslett, fakes the pitch, he still has it, goes back to Gordon. A little option there.
Well, that's what we didn't see last week with Madison Central, who we expected to pitch a lot.
Phil, other than East Brunswick apparently being beat off the line, is there anything that you've noticed that has given Edison the ability to get a lot of yardage on the running play?
Well, I think East Brunswick came in here looking for Edison to throw a lot. In the first two games, they threw the ball an awful lot. And they knew Edison was banged up, so I think they're surprised that they're running the ball as well as they are. They're surprised they're running at all.
Edison will have a 2nd and 5 on their own 48. Boslett fakes, he fumbles the ball and falls on it. And a flag against East Brunswick, a piling on. Unnecessary penalty.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was necessary at all. Boslett was down on the ball, and there was really no need to fall on him.
So the personal foul against East Brunswick. Just as a reminder, in high school ball, once your knees are down, the play is over.
Yeah, well, Coach Borden seems to be upset, but I don't know why. The kid was clearly down. And again, Boslett did the right thing. He fell on the ball. He did not try to scoop it up. He fell on the ball, and that's why it worked out to their advantage.
All right, the penalty brings the ball into East Brunswick territory on the Bears' 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. That's East Brunswick's 3rd penalty of the first half here.
I watch number 30 here. They haven't thrown to him a while, so watch for him.
Okay, Boslett calling signals, rolling left, hands off to Gordon. Flag is thrown. Gordon has plenty of room. The ball is fumbled.
East Brunswick recovers.
John, that play is going to come back anyway. We got a holding penalty here. It appears to be against Edison.
A lot of flags in the last few sequences.
All right, we'll see what the call is. If it's against Edison, I would think it's East Brunswick's ball.
I'm sorry.
A holding against Edison.
I'm sorry, John. That ball was recovered by Edison over there.
I'm sorry, okay. I couldn't see on that side of the field.
Again, you still got to be concerned on how well they are running. Mitch Gordon took off on another fine run. If it wasn't for the holding penalty, they'd be in scoring position.
Well, they keep flip-flopping over the 50-yard line here. The ball is now at the Edison 43.
I'm trying to keep my eye on that interior line to see what's happening in there. Edison continually just bursting through.
Well, they're picking up where Madison Central left off on that side.
It's 1st and 30 for the Eagles now. And Boslett in shotgun formations, laying it up for number 28, and that's Matt Bogdan.
Matt Bogdan's a junior, but he's a speed merchant. He's a hurdler for the Edison High School team, and a pretty good hurdler at that. So they're going to try to let him fly several times to see if he can run under the ball.
Right, Phil, especially with Oken being the man that has to cover him one-on-one.
We're down to 5:56, second period. East Brunswick in the lead, 20-8. Edison facing a 2nd and long yardage. And Boslett again will be in a shotgun formation.
Let's see if we get no blitz.
That's Furthingham in motion. Boslett moves out of the pocket, being pressured by Brenowitz. He's going to keep it and maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it.
And Boslett is, okay, he's getting up. That was a good hit there.
Number 32, who's that, Jimmy?
If I get the program in front of me, that's John Massoni for East Brunswick.
Nice tackle by the young man.
We have to start to learn these numbers so we can get these names quicker.
It's kind of cold to do anything quick.
John Massoni certainly has been doing a good job all year. A lot of these players on this team, we're not able to get all their names real quick, but they're all doing great jobs for East Brunswick.
All right, Edison in a long 3rd down situation. Ball on their own 41. Boslett drops back to throw again, being pressured. A little screen off to Gordon, left side. Gordon's tripped up. He'll be up around the 45-yard line, but short of the first, way short.
So it all goes back to that penalty there that prevented Edison from getting the first down deep in East Brunswick's territory.
Good point.
Edison's coming on the field quick. Now they're going to call a huddle. I thought maybe they're going to line up and try to kick it while East Brunswick was still making player changes. Anyway, Plus and Brunig is back, are back deep.
I'm keeping my eye on Boslett. He's sitting on the bench now. I think he's still feeling that last tackle.
Oh, Oken is close again on the punt. Plus reverses to Brunig. Brunig's got the right side. Bill Brunig.
No flags. No flags.
Bill Brunig, his 3rd touchdown. Is there a flag thrown? I can't see, Jim.
I see something on the East Brunswick side of the field that appears to be a flag on about the 40-yard line.
I thought there was a clip.
Yes, there it is.
It is.
Billy Brunig just doing a job tonight.
You're right, regardless of the flag, Bill Brunig showed some good speed and some good movement.
We talked about East Brunswick being victimized by the big play in the previous 3 games.
It is a clip against the Bears.
And it happened further downfield. It wasn't on that last play where number 17 threw the last block to let Brunig get loose. It happened a lot sooner than that. Number 17, who's that?
For East Brunswick, that's Mark Rulo.
Mark Rulo showed a lot of guts throwing that last block. He did not get called for a clip. The clip happened further downfield.
All right, the penalty will move the ball back to the East Brunswick 23-yard line. They'll have it 1st and 10 as a 75-yard return is called back for a clip.
East Brunswick elects to take a timeout, John.
That's their second. We have 3:58 to go in the period. East Brunswick on top 20-8.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Marcus Borden called that timeout specifically to talk to the game officials. He is not really happy. A couple of untimely penalties have gone against the Bears in some key situations. He hasn't even bothered to go out to the field to talk to his ball players.
Unofficially, I have that as the 5th penalty against East Brunswick this half. All right, so Marcus will go out into the offensive huddle of the Bears with 3:58 to go here before halftime.
I think what Marcus is really upset, he's probably saying, listen, if you're going to throw the flag, pull the flag out quickly. You know, here's my team. We've gone all the way down the field, and then we look back, and all of a sudden there's a flag. The flag should be thrown as soon as it happens. You know, it seems like it came a little late that time.
I'll have to say the referees have had a lot of difficult plays to call. That I think the roughing on Boslett was somewhat questionable, but we're getting a lot of tough calls this evening. East Brunswick a lot of time left, John.
We'll see what they do. They have the ball on their own 23, 1st and 10. Here's a pitch to Harmon. Harmon slips. He's going to lose a yard.
Okay, that's by Edison linebackers. The strength of this Edison team is the linebackers. If you're running it up the middle or to the short side, the linebackers are going to be there. What you want to do is take advantage of those young corners they have. Take advantage of them with the receivers, or take advantage of them with the wide sweeps.
The Bears have now a 2nd and 12. And this is Forte. DeVito. Joe DeVito, his first carry of the evening. That's the first time we called his name tonight, I think.
That's correct, yeah.
Well, they haven't been using him too much offensively.
With the abundance of running backs for East Brunswick, they really don't need to. I'd watch for a Matt Miller call right here.
All right, 3rd and 4 for the Bears on their own 30. Forte still has it, looks over the middle, the ball's tipped. Incomplete.
Good thing that was headed for Dave Novak's hands. That's the first incomplete pass I have for Forte. 3 for 4 now.
All right, we're down to 2:42, and the Bears will have to punt.
Is this the first time East Brunswick has punted tonight, gentlemen?
Yes.
I believe it is.
Should keep in mind that Edison has all their timeouts left.
And you should also keep in mind that penalty took away a score, almost a surefire score, and now they have to end up punting and putting it back in Edison's hands.
Is that Pruss in punt formation?
That's Brian Forte.
Okay.
Good kick, good kick. That will not be fielded.
Alves picks it up at his own 30. Crosses the 35. A flag is down, another flag.
We'll have to watch this call, because if it's against Edison, it will be enough to give East Brunswick a first down. All right, apparently it's against East Brunswick, and I'd have to think that Edison would like East Brunswick to kick over.
We're down to 2:31 as the officials discuss the penalty with the Edison captain.
East Brunswick certainly has been heavily penalized this first half.
Unofficially, I have that as their 6th. We have a procedure call against East Brunswick declined, and so Edison will take over
I'm somewhat surprised, but I guess
at their own 37.
I'm sorry, John. I guess in retrospect, with time being somewhat of a factor at 2:31, Edison would just like to get its hands on the ball and see if it can move downfield. Really important for East Brunswick to prevent Edison from scoring here.
Jimmy, Edison has to call a timeout. There's a little confusion. Boslet looked around, was counting players, and decided, let's take a timeout. So that's Edison's first.
That's unfortunate that they do have to call a timeout there because the clock had not resumed.
Well, they had a back missing. Matt Bogdan just ran out there lately, so apparently he was supposed to be in there.
Well, if you're just joining us, you've missed a lot of explosive fireworks in terms of offense. East Brunswick leads 20-8 with 2 minutes and 14 seconds to go before half, and we've seen a little bit of everything tonight.
Yes, we have, including a touchdown that was called back on a kind of a clipping call. So East Brunswick could be out front 27-8.
Just a recap of the East Brunswick scoring. Mark Harmon went 40 yards for the first score. Bill Bruni came back with a 34-yard scoring play, and then Bruni capped it off with a 3-yard run early in the second period. Edison's only score came in the first period with Gordon going 11 yards. And that's where we stand at the moment.
A lot of important action in the Greater Middlesex Conference going on this evening, gentlemen. Madison Central is hosting Saraville in a key game, and also J.P. Stevens is playing Woodbridge. Both of those teams are 2-0.
Jimmy, you said it before, and you're really right. East Brunswick cannot afford to let Edison score with this much time left in the half.
Well, when play resumes, Edison will have a 1st and 10 on their own 37. Boslet calling signals. He'll look to put the ball up. He's got some time, now's being pressured, he's taken down. That's Scott Brendowitz and Ted Pazinko.
Credit that play to the East Brunswick secondary there. Boslet had plenty of time, just couldn't find an open receiver.
Yeah. He didn't have too much time, Jimmy. The defensive line was in on him.
All right, from the 34, Edison, 2nd and 15. That's Gordon. Gordon has found plenty of running room against East Brunswick tonight.
And he gets out of bounds, too.
I think he's got the first down.
This Mitch Gordon has great balance. He runs sort of like George Booth did. Short, choppy steps and good body control.
Gordon picks up the first, and the ball will be on the East Brunswick now, 49-yard line. We're down to 1:42 before half. Edison using a single back formation now. Boslet, pressure.
That's Miller.
Matt Miller. Let's see if they call timeout. Clock is running. We're down to 1:25.
And Boslet's getting up rather slow. they really socked it to him.
No huddle. Boslet's calling signals with his hands.
Watch out for Bogdan, number 28, the hurdler.
I was thinking the same thing, Phil.
Ball's at the Edison 44. 2nd and 17. Flag thrown. Boslett can't find a man. Now he looks. He's got Alves. Incomplete.
It's got to be a holding penalty back there.
I'll tell you what, I have never seen so many flags in a half. Let's wait for the call. Tepezinko is signaling that it is against Edison. And you're right, Phil, it is a holding penalty.
All right, that'll move Edison back. They only have 1 minute and 2 seconds to go.
And that penalty is marked off from the spot of the foul, so Edison really loses 15 yards on that.
Another flag.
That's another flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct call.
Against two.
Against Edison.
Wow.
Well, obviously being up here in the booth, we don't hear what's going on down
It's
there.
against both teams, so it's offsetting. Apparently they said something to each other.
You got to wonder if players are not being ejected on a call like that.
Well, mouthing, they probably won't eject them for mouthing unless they say something really foul, but sort of a warning for both teams.
Well, you recall last year, Phil, at this very stadium, J.P. Stevens game, there was something that went on.
Now they're marking the ball off, so.
Well, what happened was the official turned around and pointed towards East Brunswick side, so apparently it's just against Edison.
All right, so it was against Edison.
He pointed the wrong way.
Yeah, we're totally reliant.
And now he's moving it back.
We are totally reliant on what the game officials signal. We don't have all the modern conveniences up here. I guess they have to step it off.
Well, they gave it to them both, and
The referee got a little bit of exercise on that.
Well, it's cold enough. He probably needed to keep warm. I've never seen that before, quite honestly. Anyway, after all of that, the ball is on the Edison 29. It's 2nd and 27 for the Eagles with 1 minute and 2 seconds to go before half. Boslett, he's just going to stand in and try to throw. He's being pressured over the middle. It's caught. Bogdan makes the reception. Clock is running.
With that amount of distance, East Brunswick is going to concede that pass because it keeps the clock going. Down to 40 seconds.
Ball's at the Edison 44. Boslett looking to throw. Can't find anyone.
Trying to get out of bounds. He can't.
He can't. 29 seconds. They do have timeouts remaining. I'm surprised Edison isn't taking a timeout here.
All right, there we go. 20 seconds.
Edison split in. Joe Alves must be hurt, number 30. We haven't seen him in here, and this is a very crucial drive, and he's on the sideline, so he must be injured.
All right, Edison is put in a position now where they're going to probably have to throw deep.
I'll tell you, if Joe Alves is injured also, Gary Ryder has to be pulling out his hairs because he's had nothing but injuries this year. The busiest man on his team has been the trainer.
Of course, one of their big running backs, Hans Matthias, didn't even suit up for tonight's game.
We have 20 seconds to go. It'll be a 4th and 13 for the Eagles.
John, I'd have to think that Edison is going to probably have to go deep on this play, not only pick up the first down, but try to get appreciable yardage so that with about 10 seconds left on the clock, they can either go for a field goal or try a quick bomb.
Well, that raises the question, does Edison have a field goal kicker?
I'll tell you, I really don't know. I know Coach Ryder didn't speak too much about his kicking game, so I really don't know. Both of the early games have been low scores, so they haven't had an opportunity to use a field goal kicker.
John, I'll buy the hot chocolate. How's that?
You're going to have to carry me down from this booth. All right, 20 seconds. Edison, 4th and 13. The ball on their own 47. East Brunswick's playing back on D, obviously. Boswick, this is Gordon.
That's Rotherham.
Well-conceived play, but unfortunately, even though he was able to get out of bounds, they did not make enough yardage for the first down. I have to think that East Brunswick's just going to run the clock out now and go off with a 20-8 halftime lead, John.
Yeah, that was Mitch Gordon, Phil.
You're right, you're right.
Gordon seems to be holding his left shoulder or left forearm as he comes off the field.
Well, he came into the game with a shoulder injury, so if he's holding that, it's not a surprise.
All right, so East Brunswick takes over on downs with 13 seconds, 1st and 10. The ball resting on their own 44-yard line. This is Miller. Miller bring it up to midfield, 7 seconds. And that should do it for the first half here at Edison High School. So at the end of the first half, it's the East Brunswick High School Bears 20, the Edison Eagles 8. And the first half that we saw a little razzle-dazzle on the first score, we've seen extraordinary play on the part of Bill Brunig. And the only thing we've seen really is for Edison is Gordon. He's run well. Boslet has attempted a lot of passes, but really hasn't connected on that one big run.
Well, Coach Ryder had said that he wanted to get the big play against East Brunswick and prevent the big play from happening to his team. He hasn't had the big play happen to him in the first 2 games, so I think he's probably a little surprised. 20 points is the most points scored on his team so far this year, and it's only the first half.
John, I have to think also that East Brunswick felt a little growing confidence toward the latter part of the second quarter on the defensive side. They seem to be a little more, or getting into the backfield a little bit more. I understand it was a lot, it was a passing play, but they still did a little bit better in that second quarter.
Okay, so at the end of the first half, again, East Brunswick 20, Edison 8, and we'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes. Well, welcome to the second half action here at Edison, where the East Brunswick Bears are winning 20-8 over the Eagles. And Jimmy, I think you have some unofficial stats, if you would.
Very few stats, John. As with the brick game, Bill Munyon is on the opposite side of the field, and we are unable to get to him, but he does a fine job. But I guess the most revealing statistics is the fact that Brian Forte was 4 for 6 in the passing department for 99 yards. And the penalties, both Edison and East Brunswick had 5 penalties. And I don't know what the yardage is on those, but we were seeing so many flags that half, I thought I was going to get a sunburn. But East Brunswick, though, up 20-8, really finds itself in a good position now.
Phil, what can Edison do? I mean, obviously they can't open up their offense any more than it is. I mean, they've done everything I think they have in their playbook. Is it more just back to fundamentals?
Well, no, they're going to have to. They can open up more. They're just going to have to execute better when they do open up. If they've lost their split in Joe Alves, that's going to hurt them that much more. Mitch Gordon seems to be hurting, so I think Coach Ryder probably will be reluctant to run them as much. So, as I said in the top of the game, they're going to pass the ball. They'll probably start passing a little, you find shorter passes than the longer ones in the beginning, and after a while they're just going to bomb away.
All right, East Brunswick will receive the second half, and they'll be moving left to right on your screen. They're in the white jerseys.
Phil, you noted that Mitch Gordon had injured his shoulder, and he still seems to be holding that rather gingerly. Of course, we will find out when he runs the ball for the first time just how effective he will be. But we're going to watch that closely. It seems to be just hanging on by the side right there.
All right, Edison came into this game 0-2. Does not look like an 0-2 team, quite honestly. East Brunswick came in 1-1-1, and as we said, and we don't want to milk it any further than we have to, but this is a big game for East Brunswick. They've come in determined. They've shown that on the field. And you've got to be impressed with Bill Brunig, the performance he's put on thus far.
You know, Marcus had also mentioned that one of the things he was looking for East Brunswick to do was to be successful in converting points once they were inside the 20. Thus far, he hasn't had to do that.
I think you can look for East Brunswick to fake a return here. They've handed off a couple times on punts and the other time on kickoff. I think you can look for them to fake it this time, and whoever catches it, keep it and go with it.
All right, East Brunswick has Pruss, Harmon, and Brunig back deep. Although they've moved up, they're resting on around their own 30. A short kick by Edison. Pruss at about the 25. East Brunswick's going to have good field position as Pruss crosses his own 40.
There's a good example of what a less than effective kicking game can do for you. East Brunswick with excellent field position.
And the Bears will start off on their own 42. All right, here we go. First offensive series of the second half for the Bears. Forte, that's Harmon. Harmon trying to get to the outside. Breaks a few tackles. He'll pick up about 7 yards.
Sure did. Broke a few tackles, and that was what enabled him to get the 7 yards.
And tackled by Hubrick. That was the only man out there after he faked the other two out.
You know, we at the Sentinel keep a running tally of the top running backs in our area of coverage, and Mark Harmon is the second leading ball carrier in our area with 115 yards, and he's added to that tonight.
All right, the Bears facing a 2nd and 2, the ball on their own 49. Brunig, left side. Bill Brunig fights his way across midfield. He's got the first down.
It seems like Bill Brunig has hit his stride. He's running well. He's been running well all year, but it seems like he has it in full gear right now.
Gordon alternating Brunig and Harmon in the backfield.
East Brunswick 1st and 10 on the Edison 46. They lead 20-8 as we start the second half here. Forte rolls right, pumps, sets up, is looking for Pruss, lost over his head.
Well, there it was, that play that we're quite familiar with. Ken Pruss going to the outside. Forte attempting to hook up with him just before he goes out of bounds. Overthrew it just a little that time.
Well, Brian felt a little heat on him, and he put a little extra mustard on it and just overthrew Kenny that time.
Second down for the Bears, 2nd and 10. Ball on the Edison 46. Inside handoff to Brunig. Brunig will pick up 4.
East Brunswick's showing fine balance right now, and a great mixture of passing and running. I think they have Edison off balance themselves.
Let's give Brunig 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 7 as Forte goes into shotgun formation. Ryan has plenty of time, sets up, throws. He's got Pruss across the middle. Pruss breaks to the outside. He's going to be knocked out of bounds around the 25.
I tell you, I haven't seen a prettier thing this year than Brian Forte when he wings that on the line to Pruss down the middle there. It's just a beautiful pass. Very tight spiral, and Pruss shows very soft hands, takes it in, makes a good move, cuts to the sideline, and picks up the first down.
So one thing I've noticed too, that when Forte drops back and sets, he really has fine control of the pass.
That's a good point.
All right, East Brunswick 1st and 10, the ball on the Edison 25. Here's Brunig. Little Bill shoots through.
Billy Brunig.
I'm just totally amazed. I can see what really makes him an excellent running back. As soon as he hits that hole, the acceleration just pops, and he's up there. My Lord, he got 8 yards on that, 7, 8 yards on that play.
Well, it helps to have a little space to run through, too, so the offensive line is doing a good job.
And we're inside the 20-yard line, gentlemen.
All right, 2nd and 3 for the Bears. Ball on the Edison 16. Forte looks to throw, pumps, being pressured, gets away, and now is tripped up. 25-yard line.
Big play for Edison there.
I'll tell you, with Brian Forte, again, he's got that upper body strength. He's a big, strong kid, and you know, you just can see about great things to come. I tell you, Huey Ross, the athletic director of Madison Central, I saw him after Monroe. I saw him after the Madison Central game, and he wasn't talking about his kid or the victory by Madison Central. He was talking about Brian Forte and what he's going to be by the time he becomes a senior.
3rd and 10 now for the Bears. Forte in a shotgun from his own 25. Sets up, throws in the corner for Pruss, over his head, incomplete. And I think we'll see Josh Miller.
My calculations have this attempt coming from the 32-yard line, so this will be a 42-yard attempt. No wind to speak of this evening. Ball is going to be placed pretty much in the middle of the field, so this ought to be a straight shot for Josh Miller.
All right, Josh Miller, 42 yards away. Good snap, ball is up, and it's going to be to the left. No good. And Edison will take over.
Tell you, Josh didn't seem to get it all that time. You can hear by the sound of the kick that he really didn't get it all, and it was sort of off to the left.
Phil, I also have to think that having had a point after touchdown block, East Brunswick may have tried to up the tempo or, you know, done some things that they're not used to on a field goal attempt.
Well, maybe, maybe not.
So East Brunswick does not convert inside the 20 once again.
I got a question for you, Jimmy. I'll ask you that after this play here.
All right, the Eagles take over on their own 20, 1st and 10. Their first possession of this half. We have 8:11 to go, 3rd period. The Eagles trail 20-8. Boslet hands off to Ferdinand.
You know that Josh Miller had a record-setting field goal in the Cherokee game, 46. Can you tell me the second longest field goal kicked by an East Brunswick team this year, Jimmy?
Can't tell you. The second this year?
This year.
Yeah, I would venture that it's Josh Miller, the 37-yarder in the opening game.
Nope. A 40-yarder by Dennis Levine, the sophomore for the JV team. He kicked it against Brick, an up-and-coming player. Look out for him, too.
Great.
All right, 2nd and 7 for the Eagles. Ball on their own 23. They're in an I formation. Boslet still has it. He's being pressured. He's going to be dropped for a loss.
And that is a big play right there.
Good pursuit by the East Brunswick defense.
John Massoni made the tackle for the Bears.
And we've been mentioning his name tonight a couple of times. So not only does Edison lose yardage on that play, they also lose the down. It sets up what, John, about a 3rd and 17?
3rd and 15, Jim.
Okay.
The ball is on the Edison 14-yard line.
Would be really good for East Brunswick to prevent Edison from getting the first down here and force them to punt deep in their own territory.
All right, Boslet, shotgun. Sets up, looking across the middle. Ball was wide, he was looking for Bogdan. And so the Bears will get the ball back.
Phil, I can't help but notice that Mitch Gordon did not handle the ball in that series at all.
Well, he's hurting, there's no doubt about it. And I don't even think it's a good idea to have him out there as a decoy if the kid's hurting that much. Get him off the field and let him recuperate.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, on that sack, it was Gordon that was back there.
I was just going to mention he did not make the block on DeVito, and DeVito pushed Boslet away, and Massoni made the tackle. All right, so the Eagles will have to punt on 4th down. Pruss is back there with Brunig, awaiting the punt. It hits an Edison player, and it'll be down right there at the 40. So East Brunswick, excellent field position at the Edison 40.
And there goes Mitch Gordon out there on defense. I'll tell you, speaking about Masoni getting a little more playing time and playing much better, there's also another linebacker that hasn't played at all this year, a young man by the name of Dave Clark. Underwent arthroscopic surgery, and I understand he's coming along nicely. And they're taking their time bringing him back, and that's the way it should be.
Sure, he's just a sophomore, too.
Sure.
East Brunswick, good field position on the Edison 40, 1st and 10. This is Harmon, jitterbugging his way around. Nice cut.
And it's a first down.
Harmon's got first down yardage.
You know, with that long touchdown run in the first period, I have to think that Harmon is starting to close in on 100 yards. He certainly is up in the high 70s or 80s right now.
All right, ball is placed at the Edison 29. So East Brunswick's knocking once again. They lead 20-8. 5:56 to go, third period. This is Brunig trying to get outside. He's going to be dropped for a loss.
You know, we keep on harping on Mitch Gordon's injury, but I have to think that that is a weak link in Edison's defense. He's playing the right side of the field here, and Marcus Borden, I would think, was trying an end run towards Mitch Gordon's side.
That Matt Jennings made that tackle there on Brunig, and he seems to be keen on him. He didn't let him get anywhere that time.
All right, the Bears facing a 2nd and 13 now. The ball on the Edison 32. There's a reverse, and Russ will keep it. Nice block by Forte out there.
Well, it was a nice block, but as a sophomore will do sometimes, he didn't stick with it. And
Well,
that tackler was able to make it.
Well, Jimmy, there's two types of blocks you can throw. As a quarterback, his coach probably advises him to throw the shielding block. The other type of block, if he was a fullback, he would have cut the guy down. Of course, you would have to hit him high, cutting him low down, you risk a penalty. So he did the best he could. He ended up pushing the guy in the path of the runner.
All right, let's call a 3rd and 4 for the Bears. On the Edison 27, down to 4:30, third period action. Forte will roll right, being pressured. He's got some time, he throws it up for Harmon. Harmon's got it, nice reception. Inside the 20.
He's right near first down yardage. He may have just gotten over the stripe, yes.
A great catch by Mark Harmon and a great throw by Forte. Brian was scrambling, actually threw it off his back foot and still had a tight spiral and hit Mark Harmon on the money.
I'm really surprised with Forte's maneuver, his ability to maneuver out there for his size.
Well, I'm gonna make a statement in a minute, Jimmy. I see the ambulance coming up here. They look like they're ready to take an Edison player off the field or off the sideline.
We have a timeout on the field as well. And Worthington is coming off. Apparently we have a spectator who was hurt.
Jimmy, you're talking about Brian Forte. Let me be the first to say it, okay? And I know it's a little early on. Brian Forte, before he leaves East Brunswick, probably will be perhaps the second best, if not the best, quarterback to come out of here. I don't say passer, I say quarterback. The best that I've seen is David Wohl. There wasn't a better field general. Dave Wohl could do it all. He could pass, he could run, he could scramble. He had great leadership and great field presence. Brian Forte has the markings of all this. So he's going to be a great one. I really believe that before he leaves from East Brunswick.
I don't think too many will argue with you, Phil.
All right, the Bears have it. 1st and 10 on the Edison 18, 4:04 to go, and another official timeout.
John, you mentioned 4:04 left in the quarter. This is a fast-paced quarter here. East Brunswick, if nothing else, is using up a lot of clock.
Okay, they're ready. Forte, that's DeVito. DeVito will be down to the 15.
Some good yards that time.
Crowd's getting a little unruly down here. They seem to be more interested in the injured spectator over here than they are the game. I don't know what happened, but we have the ambulance backing up back here.
All right, the Bears 2nd and 7. Edison 15-yard line. Forte's got Pruss and Dro split out. He pumps, looking over the middle, complete. Matt Miller. Matt Miller out of the backfield.
And that's another first down for East Brunswick. It's going to give them 1st and goal on the 7-yard line.
Marcus Borden has come with a few plays that we haven't seen in the first few games.
All right, the ball's on the 7 for the Bears, the Edison 7. 1st and goal. We're down to 2:55, 3rd period. Here's a pitch to Harmon, right side. He's got some blockers. Oh, a flag. I thought a face mask there.
And a face mask and a late hit.
Well, Harmon finally landed on the 1-yard line, so unfortunate for East Brunswick that they're not really going to be able to get a lot of yardage out of this. Is this an automatic first down, Phil?
It is.
Okay, so in a sense, they gained an extra down.
You know, I believe we said Matt Miller. That might have been Dave Novak on that sliding pass over there. 38 and 36 look quite a bit alike.
That's right. Dave Novak is the starting tight end for East Brunswick. We thought that we would see a lot more of these players since Jimenez was out.
All right, so with the penalty, the ball's on the 1-yard line. It's a 1st down and 1 for the Bears, and Forte trying to go in and is pushed back. Forte on a keeper took a step and then was really hit.
Well, I said the strength of the Edison team is their linebackers, particularly their middle linebackers, and they filled the gaps there, and they had great penetration. The other thing is Brian took a giant step back before he went forward, and when he took that step back, they came in, and that kept him from going in. If he probably hadn't taken that step back and just used his strength and leaned forward, he might have gotten in.
If I was East Brunswick, I'd try that right side. Well, I'll take it back now. Wherever Mitch Gordon is, now he's on the right side. I'd play that side right there.
All right, DeVito and Harmon in the backfield, 2nd and 1. This is Joe DeVito, touchdown.
Walks in untouched.
And that is a big touchdown for East Brunswick at this time. Puts them up right now 26-8 with less than 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Miller will be in for the try.
So Joe DeVito, I think that's his first touchdown.
That's his first touchdown for the young sophomore. We'll remember that one.
Josh Miller on for the extra point. And the kick is wide right. So Josh Miller misses the extra point, and the Bears now lead 26-8 with 1:51 to go here in the 3rd period.
You know what I think? Nobody asked me my opinion in regards to Josh Miller, but I think if you remember, Josh Miller kicked fine last year. I think he's probably getting very serious about his kicking. I think he needs to get back into having a lot more fun about it. The other stuff will come around. If you remember the first game against Cherokee, I saw Josh Miller after the game, and his face was as long as those long legs of his. He had broken a school record with a 46-yarder, made some very integral field goals to gain the tie, and yet he had a very long face. It's a matter of perspective. I think he needs to get back into having fun with this instead of being so serious about it. He's got another year, and all the other stuff will come with time.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Phil. Josh Miller has already demonstrated to the East Brunswick fans that he is a quality kicker, and he should really enjoy the game.
And Josh Miller will kick it off. East Brunswick 26-8 over Edison. Edison will field it at about the 7. Ooh, and taken down at the 25.
That was very nice coverage on the part of East Brunswick. Everybody stayed in their lanes.
I'll tell you, Dave Goldstein was in there on that tackle.
I think you can attribute that tackle to the whole East Brunswick team there. Everybody stayed where they were supposed to. The Edison runner had nowhere to go, and he was just gang tackled.
And Craig Wheeler, I believe, was the other person.
All right, a minute and 35 to go, Jim and Phil. Here, the third period, East Brunswick on top, 26-8. The ball is spotted at the Edison 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. That's Gordon. Gordon crosses the 25.
John, I was sorry, I was going to make the observation before that Edison definitely has to pass the ball. No sooner would they start to run it, but
no huddle offense now for Edison.
This is open season for East Brunswick secondary now.
Ball at the 28 of Edison. Gordon again. Gordon's going to be taken out at the 30.
And don't think for one moment those aren't jarring tackles to that young man.
Well, it's just, again, it's just hard to understand why they're running Mitch Gordon, a young man who's obviously hurting his shoulder, and they're running him when they probably definitely need to be passing at this stage of the game. I mean, you got that big tight end, Hubert, number 88. They haven't tried to go back to him again. Bogdan, number 28, can fly. And Joe Alvis, the number 1 receiver, is out of the game, but still.
3rd and 5 for the Eagles. Ball on their own 29. They trail 26-8. Boslet still has it. DeVito's got him. He's going to take him down.
Joey DeVito, showing fine speed there.
Phil, I have to agree with you. I think Alva's absence is really affecting Edison more than I think even the Eagles would like to admit.
Well, they only have so many weapons, and Alvis was certainly a big part of that. But
let's mention Gordon's pass catching ability.
Let's just say, I just want to mention that since the second half started, Edison has had 4 plays and punted, 4 plays and punted. While on the East Brunswick side, they've had 2 7-play drives, and that's the end of the third period here at Edison with the Bears in the lead, 26-8.
Well, gentlemen, I think we can all feel pretty good about East Brunswick's performance thus far this evening. They've really finally they score inside the 20 tonight. but more than that, renewed confidence on the part of the offense. Brian Forte playing another sterling game. Right now he's 7 for 11. Don't have the yardage for Brian, but really has done an outstanding job. What more can you say about Billy Brunig's and Gary, Mark Harmon's performance? Of course, we're alluding to Gary Harmon, the former Bear runner.
basketball player.
Yeah, he didn't play football, did he?
He didn't play football.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
a darn good basketball player.
Yes, he was.
Jimmy, I want to pick up on something. Brian Forte is having a good night, and a very good night. But in order for him to have that good night, that offensive line is doing their job.
They are to a great degree. I think Marcus Board will tell you that that was one of his concerns, and the offensive line is starting to turn it around. Brian is also a good scrambler.
All right, Edison from their own 24 will be punting. Pruss and Brunig are again back for the Bears. Fourth quarter action as we get started. Oking's close again to blocking it, but the punt is away. Takes an East Brunswick bounce, and it's going to be in Edison territory once again.
I'll tell you a little tip for Rick Oakland here. He's come close several times. What he's doing though is he's leaping up in order to get there. Probably if he stays on his feet a little bit more and dive for the ball rather than that spot in the air that he's trying to do, perhaps he'll get one.
Maybe he'll be listening, Phil.
The Bears take over on the Edison 45, 1st and 10. As we start fourth quarter action, that's Harmon right side. Mark Harmon, he'll pick up about 6 on the play.
And you would not expect East Brunswick to be too anxious to throw the ball now, having possession with 11 and a half minutes left to go in the game.
I'll tell you, Sean Smith leveled somebody that was lollygagging over there around the play.
Another one of those sophomores.
Ball's on the Edison 38, 2nd and 3. Forte to Brunig, big hole. Billy Brunig.
Phil,
25-yard line.
it really does look like Edison's giving up now.
Well, I don't know if they're giving up, but they're not looking too good at this time. East Brunswick offensive line seems to be blowing holes right up there, and their backs are taking it right through. And that's what they're supposed to do.
Ball on the Edison 24. Brunswick picks up the first down. 1st and 10 for the Bears. They're on the move. This is Miller. Ooh, Miller's hit hard as he goes into the middle of the line. He'll be stopped at the 25.
Matt Goldsby, number 70, was the first tackler there.
So Matt Miller gets back to the line of scrimmage. Let's call it 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Forte to Brunig. And Brunig's close to the 20. Clock continues to run.
Well, East Brunswick showing some semblance of ball control right now. And I tell you, it's really got to be disheartening to this Edison team. Again, let's put it in perspective. They were touted to be one of the top team in Middlesex County this year, and now they're facing 0-3.
No, I can't help but think that injuries have really played a factor in that.
Well, they have.
All right, the Bears with a 3rd and 7 on the Edison 22. Forte pumps, rolls right, gets away from the rush, rolls back to his left, sets up, throws. I don't know who he's looking for. Mark Horman was in the area.
Distant area, John. I'm surprised the flag wasn't thrown on that.
All right, 4th down. Let's see if Marcus Borden will give Josh Miller a try.
You called
for
it.
no other reason for his confidence.
You called it, John. This is going to be about from the same spot that he tried on the opposite end of the field, perhaps 1 yard more. That'll make it a 43-yarder.
All right, the ball is marked officially line of scrimmage on the Edison 21. Miller is setting up at the 29, so this will be a 39-yard field goal attempt. Josh Miller, good snap. It's a fake. Press has the ball. He's got Brunig open. He throws it in the middle to Dave Potter. Potter can't hold on to it, and Edison will take over.
Fotheringham right in the middle of all that. He came up and broke up the play. You're right, Bill Brunig was just ever so slightly open, but I don't think Crust have seen him.
Edison will take over on their own 21. 9 minutes to go here in the game, and they trail 26-8. I think it's getting colder up here, man. All right, Boslick with Ferdinand in the backfield, long back.
John, we got a long way to go.
Long season yet. Boslick looking for a man, being pressured, throw down the middle. It's picked up by Edison. That's Bogdan. Bogdan's going to go. Gordon, rather. I thought Press had the interception. Gordon came out of nowhere and took it out of his hand.
I'll tell you what, John, you know what happened there? That ball was not intended for Gordon. Gordon just happened to slant in, ran in front of another Edison receiver, and picked the ball up and took off. I do not believe that ball was intended for him. Boslet was off balance and just threw the ball up, and Mitch Gordon just happened to run there.
Well, the play covers 79 yards. That's Gordon's 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Of course, John, Edison will go for 2 on this. They convert here, and they're right back in the ball game.
8:51 to go. Edison going for 2. Boslet rolls right, throws it up in the air. So Edison will miss on the 2-point conversion. And so the score is now East Brunswick 26, Edison 14.
All right. Very interesting play for Edison. Results in 6 points. So East Brunswick now will have to shake that one off. Continue to drive the ball like they did in the last period. Still a comfortable margin, Phil, 26-14. But just not that too comfortable.
Well, East Brunswick just has to get the ball back and control the ball. You're talking about 8 minutes and 51 seconds. East Brunswick has to try to eat up a good portion of that time there. If they do that, they'll be all right.
All right, the Bears waiting the kickoff now from Edison. 26-14 score. And we have 8:51 to go in the game. Short kick again by Edison. Russ fields it at about the 25.
He's got room.
And he's going to bring it up to the 35.
Just for a moment there, it seemed like he had a little running room, but Edison converged on him.
So the Bears will start off on their own 35.
So Edison, with renewed life now, we'll see if the defense picks up for them.
I'm sure Marcus Borden would like nothing better than a long drive here.
Exactly. You're going to see a lot of the running game right now.
Okay, Forte brings them out. Fake to Harmon. He's got some time looking for a man. Brian's going to keep the ball. And Brian's out close to the 45-yard line.
Very intelligent play right there.
Well, just as I said, you're going to see a lot of the running game right now.
You didn't say who would be carrying him. Forte picks up about 8 yards.
Right, and more importantly, that puts East Brunswick with a 2nd and 1, puts them in the position of getting a first down and maintaining possession of the ball. Clock is really a factor here now, less than 8 minutes to play.
All right, let's call it a long 2 for the Bears. On their own 44. They're in the lead, 26-14. There's Brunig. Brunig will get maybe to the 45.
Official's going to mark that short of the first down, John.
Yeah, Rubik, number 88 in there. Defensive end made a nice tackle.
So this is one rather big play.
3rd and about a foot.
Nothing fancy, right, Phil?
No comment.
Okay. Well, you got Matt Miller back there. I have to think you use him on this play.
Forte hands off to Harmon. Harmon's got the first down.
Okay, and East Brunswick makes the first down.
Well, we didn't see the shotgun on that play.
Okay, that's for sure.
all I'm glad about.
Send your cards and letters to Phil Hill and Jim Allinder. I just call them, folks. All right, East Brunswick's up to their own 49. 1st and 10. And the clock is running. We're down to 6:35 in the game. Forte fakes, hands off to Miller.
Well, I have to say this much, gentlemen. Whenever we think that Marcus Borden's going to do something, he does it. He does something different. And it's just that the element of surprise. It's always been the trademark of his game. And whether it works 100% of the time, he has a lot of guts.
Let me correct myself. That was Joe DeVito on the carry. DeVito picked up about 3. Let's call it 2nd and 7. The ball in Edison territory at the Edison 48. Pitch wide. That's Brunig. Bill is just short of the first down.
Key block thrown by Sean Smith right there. And sprung Brunig loose for big yardage.
Did you say he's a sophomore also?
He is a sophomore.
Wow.
Third down, ball on the Edison 42. 3rd and 1.
Boy, I'll tell you, if we were picking the most valuable player for this game, it would be awful tough for East Brunswick. A lot of quality players there this evening.
Forte to Harmon. I think Harmon will have the first down.
What more can you say about Billy Bruning this evening? Unfortunately, we don't have his yardage, but anytime East Brunswick needed some key yardage, he got the ball. Gary Harmon having another fine evening. Mark Harmon, excuse me. Dave, our cameraman, has caught me 3 times.
And speaking of our cameramen, let me say what a job Pete Canamessa and Dave Ambrosi have done tonight. I know both of them have the shakes from the cold. Anyway, it's an East Brunswick first down.
I'll tell you, the only guy that doesn't have the shakes from the cold is a kid by the name of Steve Mintz. And it's poetic justice because he sweated his tail off down at the brick game, and this time he's very warm. He's the bear for East Brunswick, Steve Mintz. So it's poetic justice today for him.
I'd switch positions right now with him. 4:53, the clock running. East Brunswick 1st and 10 on the Edison 40. Forte on a keeper. He's got room. Brian Forte, one man. He stops. Taken down at the 9-yard line.
Just a smart heads-up play by Brian Forte. Again, I don't know if that was a straight-out call or a check at the line. Edison was in there a 4-4. Brian saw an opening and took a step to the left and took off and made good yards. A good heads-up play by the young quarterback.
1st and goal for the Bears. 4:40 to go, 4th period. They lead 26-14. Ball's on the Edison 9. Forte making a few adjustments in the backfield. Inside handoff to Harmon. Harmon drops the ball but falls on top of it.
A very fortunate bounce. Bounced back into his hands and he fell right on it like you said.
While we have a minute, I'd like to thank the Edison Athletic Director, Bob Coward, for providing us with our facilities here tonight at Edison High School. And as always, we'd like to thank Charlie King for his help and cooperation.
Looking at that last play, East Brunswick has not had a turnover today. They've played error-free ball, except for a few penalties.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that, but you're right, Phil.
Ball back on the Edison 15 now. 2nd and 15 for the Bears. Brunig. They'll be back to the original line of scrimmage around the 9-yard line of Edison. Clock is running down to 3:29.
That's right. This drive has consumed the better part of 5 minutes.
Well, they did just what they had to do, which is control the ball, eat up some of that clock. They've come out since that 8:51 mark and have done that. So Marcus Gordon has got to be pleased.
It's a 3rd and a foot. This is the 11th play in the drive.
Is it 3rd and a foot, John? Or is that
I'm sorry,
line of
3rd and
scrimmage?
goal.
Okay.
3rd and goal. Brunig got inside the 10. Forte looking across the middle. Fine pass. I think that's Joe Giroux.
That's right. He took Edwin Jimenez's place today and he's made a catch for a touchdown. His first catch of the game.
I'll tell you what, Phil. That reminds me of Steve Hughes all the way. Set up in the pocket, threaded the needle.
I mean, Joe Giroux, this kid's a sophomore. Also, I mean, they got Dave Potter, number 85, the tight end, Sean Smith. They got a host of sophomores there. It's incredible.
You wonder why we get so excited about what we're seeing out there.
It's incredible.
It really is something to look forward to in the future.
Jimmy, I may be wrong, but I think that's Forte's first touchdown passing. My memory serves me correct. Josh Miller on for the extra point, and it's good. So East Brunswick now ups their lead to 33-14. 2:54 to go in the game.
And they're in total control right now.
One thing I think we should mention, a fine East Brunswick crowd came out tonight to Edison.
They did. John, I saw you at open house the other night. And I tell you, I went up there And I knew we had several Ram Bears there, but I found one other Ram Bear that I was surprised about. You don't know what a Ram Bear is, do you?
Oh, someone from South River who's transferred to East Brunswick.
That's right. we got Mel Casero, of course, the fine one-time coach who also coached Rutgers. He was there. We got Frank Knoppenberg, a super athlete at South River. But I did not know Dave Stout, a Spanish teacher up there, is also up there. And he was a great quarterback at South River, went on to be a great quarterback for Rutgers University. So we got a lot of Ram Bears there.
It's nice to know these guys found some religion.
And all I can talk about is New Brunswick High School. To answer your question, John, Brian has had one touchdown for 24 yards. I don't know who it is to.
Okay. All right, Josh Miller will kick it off. 2:54 left in the game. East Brunswick in the lead, 33-14. Edison, they field it at their 10. And it'll get to about their own 20.
So 33 points tonight registered by the East Brunswick offense. Certainly a radical change over last week's shutout.
That last tackle there was by St. Huger.
Let's face it, gentlemen.
And he's a junior.
East Brunswick's back on track again. Of course, their next opponent is Woodbridge next Friday night at J. Doyle Field. Woodbridge, before tonight's game with J.P. Stevens, was 2-0.
Edison first down, their own 25. 2:26 left in the game. Boslett looking, flags are thrown all over the place. And Boslett's just going to throw this ball away.
Well, illegal motion, they had all kinds of motion going on from all sides. We got flags all over the place.
Interesting, John and Phil. East Brunswick's second string quarterback, Mark Badalo, number 7, is in there as a defensive back now. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of other new faces.
Well, I'm glad to see that young man get some field time. You got to remember, he's the guy that's going to be there if Brian should happen to get injured. So it's
no, don't say that, Phil.
Well, if he should happen to get injured, so he needs to get out there and get a feel for that field.
That's
he needs
correct.
to get out there some offensively as well.
All right, the call was an illegal shift by Edison. East Brunswick declined it, so it's 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. The ball's still on their own 25. We're down to 2:10 in the game. Boslett looking out. He's looking. There's Alves.
Yes, he's back. He didn't see the ball.
So 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Boslett threw that pass before Alves made a break, and the young man never saw the ball.
Well, apparently the injury isn't that serious because he's back out on the field.
Well, I just got to believe there's a number of Edison players that are playing injured. I mean, you have to do that sometime, but it's a shame. It's a big turnaround in their season. A total disappointment.
2:05. Edison 3rd and 10. Ball on their own 25. Boslett. Whoa, as he hit. Just as he let go of the ball. 33, that's, I believe, Rob Schaefer.
And Boslett is very, very slow getting up from this one.
I mean, Rob Schaefer really lit into him from the blind side. Boslett never saw him coming, and Schaefer nailed him, but good. The ball bounced all the way out of bounds to the sideline from the middle of the field. Hope the young man's okay. He's really shook up. He doesn't know where he is. He's coming off the field now.
Okay, while we have a second, John and Phil, East Brunswick will play Woodbridge next Friday night. The following Saturday, I think that's the 25th of October, they will travel to Perth Amboy to meet the Panthers. That'll be a day game. And then following that is the Halloween contest against J.P. Stevens. That will be at J.P. Stevens Field.
And weather permitting, we'll be televising the Woodbridge and Stevens games for you here on Channel 8. Back to the action. Edison will punt. A high snap. The punter can't hold on to the ball, and East Brunswick's going to get it at inside the 10-yard line.
Well, when it goes wrong, it all goes wrong. You know, this reminds me a lot of the Madison Central team that we saw last week. They were highly touted coming into the year in 1985. really had a down game against East Brunswick and lost 9-0. It was just the beginning of just a series of bad situations for them. And Edison seems to be doing the same thing.
I see Rick Gokun going off the field. He seems like he's laughing. He finally had a chance to block one, and the guy couldn't get it off.
Badalo in a quarterback.
You're right, Jim. It is Badalo. Hands off to, I think it was Brunig. I'm not sure. Brunig fumbled. Anyway, the East Brunswick player fumbled. Edison has recovered, and they'll take over.
Well, I tell you, that's all right. You know the obvious reason for that. You have a new quarterback in, and I haven't seen him in before, and the feel of it all, and the exchange wasn't that clean. But Mark DeBello needs to get more playing time late in the game so he can have the feel of it in a game situation. So he can be prepared.
I called Brunig. I don't think that was Bill Brunig. I didn't pick up the number. I think it was Dave Goldstein. Regardless, 1:33 to go in the game. Edison has the ball on about their own 10.
Well, we know that Marcus Borden picks his Bears of the week and hitters of the week and that sort of thing, but I'm going to tip my cap to Bill Brunig this evening. I think he was a big factor in this game.
And you might give it to that whole offensive line.
I was going to say, I was very impressed with Sean Smith's play tonight. Anyway, Boslett's still in there, and I think that's Fotheringham. He may pick up a yard or two, and that's about it.
You have to wonder why they throw in a situation like that. Run the ball, but regardless.
No huddle by Edison. Down to 1 minute in the game. Boslett throwing to Gordon, incomplete. That'll stop the clock. Bring up a third down.
Okay, Joe Giroux broke up that play there, and John Flynn the one before that. So we got a lot of young players in there at this time getting some action.
Keeping my eyes on Marcus Borden over there. He's yelling about something.
There have been a number of defensive changes, substitutions by East Brunswick. All right, let's say 3rd and 10 for the Eagles. 57 seconds to go in the game. East Brunswick in the lead, 33-14. This is Gordon.
Strips a tackle.
You've got to admire this young man.
You do. He's
fine athlete.
He's playing on guts. He shows if he can stay healthy, he's going to have a good future.
He's literally running on with one arm. The left arm is just hanging at his side. Look at him.
He's coming off the field now.
And he deserves a round of applause if he does, believe me.
No, he's still on the field.
That's a first down for Edison. We've got a timeout again, charged to East Brunswick.
Mitch Gordon goes to one knee. He is one exhausted football player.
I've got to think in some pain as well.
Really one of the fine individual efforts that we've seen in quite a long time.
It was a good effort, a very good effort. They lost a great runner in Anthony Davis last year, and you wouldn't think they'd have anyone to replace him. And while Mitch Gordon hasn't quite replaced him, he has put on a fine effort today. And like I said, all you have to do is look at his face and look at the way he's carrying his body, and you know the young man is hurting.
While we have this timeout, I'd love to make something or mention something to our audience, and that is we at Channel 8 would be glad to hear from you concerning these games, whether you're enjoying them, some things you'd like to see differently, what you like, any comments we'd love to hear from you so that we know how we are being received out there in terms of our coverage of East Brunswick High School athletic season.
Well, I don't want complaints on me. Keep them home.
As Jimmy mentioned, our next telecast will be from J. Doyle Field against Woodbridge. That's on the 17th, a 7:30 game. And if the weather holds out, we'll be there with you. All right, shotgun for Edison, 42 seconds. Boslett, he's just going to wing it down the field looking for Bogdan. Nice play down here by East Brunswick man, number 12. That's Kevin Maloney.
Kevin Maloney, the 3rd string quarterback.
And what year is he?
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
also.
He's a sophomore. Okay.
Kevin Maloney. Kevin Maloney's dad probably knows more about East Brunswick High School than anybody. I mean, he's virtually up at every practice, so he can tell you what they put in new, what they're doing wrong, and many times what they should have done. Nice man.
That's Phil Hill. He can be reached at 238. Anyway, we're having a lot of fun up here.
Yeah, especially when East Brunswick's winning.
And they're winning big, 33-14 with 35 seconds to go. Edison has a 2nd and 10 from their own 35. Nice pass from Boslett. I think that was Bogdan.
And tackled by Ken Meyer.
That was Alvis.
Ken Meyer, he's a junior.
Alvis is moving in and out of the lineup, but the clock is running. We're down 18 seconds. Ball is on the Edison 44. Boslett throwing to the outside. That's Bogdan. That'll stop the clock with 7 seconds. First down, but it's all academic at this point.
Edison calls a timeout, John.
All right, with that timeout, let me just quickly recap the East Brunswick scoring. Harmon started it off in the first period with a 40-yard run. Brunig followed with a 34-yard run. Second period, Brunig came back again on a 3-yard run. We got into the third period, and Joe DeVito bowled over from the 1. And here in the fourth period, a pass from Forte to Giroux of 9 yards brings us to 33 points for East Brunswick. On the Edison side, Gordon has been their only real offense. He scored 2 touchdowns, one of 11 yards and one of 79 yards. So East Brunswick will go 2-1-1. Edison will fall to 0-3. And I have to say that it doesn't take Marcus Borden long to recoup. Obviously, things had to be looked at after last week's game, adjustments made, and obviously they have been.
His team responded the way he said it could. He felt very, very confident going into this game.
Man, you got to be pleased that the offense has come alive. Defense has been doing it for most of the year, and offense has come alive now, so they have real good balance. And if this can carry over, they're going to have a good season.
All right, 7 seconds to go in the game. East Brunswick in the lead, 33-14. Edison 1st and 10 at their own 45. Boslett throws it out, and he's got to be taken right down. The ball's knocked away. Forthenham picks it up. The game is over, and that's it. East Brunswick will win. It was a quick screen, what they call a Dallas quick screen.
John Reese on the initial tackle there that jarred the ball loose. But like you said, the game is over.
Well, any final comments as the teams go out to meet one another? Jim, anything from the East Brunswick side?
Well, I think it's very obvious that East Brunswick now has righted itself. They are back in the hunt for a Central Jersey Group 4 playoff berth. Still have a shot at winning the Red Division GMC. And more importantly, I think have reinforced to themselves that they can bounce back from adversity. Brian Forte, we keep on saying that he improves every week, and he really did again. He just showed even more ability to be able to scramble with the ball, find the open receivers. I'm just impressed with East Brunswick tonight, and I think it's going to carry him a long way.
Phil?
Well, it's a good victory. Of course, any victory is a good victory, but this is a particularly good victory. They bounced back after a devastating loss to Madison Central. The offense got rolling, put some points on the scoreboard, and as I said before, if they can put that balance, the offense and defense together, they're going to have a pretty good season. So it's good to be right where they are right now.
All right, and the Bears will look now toward the Barons of Woodbridge as their next opponent. At again, October 17th, a home game, a night game, beginning at 7:30. So here at Edison High School, the final score is East Brunswick 33, Edison 14. And for Phil Hill and Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro, thanking you for being with us tonight.